These are things that people, may say to themselves, but may not say out loud, or other people, other people that want to talk about relationships. I've not really read on other people's books. So, and being a writer, you don't want other people's information in your head when you're writing. So, and I've been writing this book. This book actually, came to me in the year 2000. So this is like 13 years later that this book is coming out. So, I had a lot of time to experience a lot of things and to see a lot and to gain a lot of knowledge and wisdom, from that time that the book was conceived in my mind, to now actually releasing it.
It covers nearly 200 questions or topics. It's over 400 pages long, and you had to cut it down. You've got a whole lot more.
Absolutely. I was, when I was writing the book, I was like, okay, I don't want to be one of those type of people where, my wife says I'm long-winded. So I don't want to be long-winded. I want to just tell the truth, and I have a lot to say. So I guess I would say I have the gift of gab. But when I speak, I don't just talk to be talking. Right? When I open my mouth, I'm saying something that you need to hear. And so this book, it may have a second edition to it. So, it's very possible.
If you're still alive.
Yeah, I think that once people start reading it, I think they're going to be very glad that I actually said what I have to say in this.
Right,
book.
because you have to pardon me, everyone. I'm kind of making fun of Harlon, but this is a serious book. But it's also, you're going to make you smile, I'm sure, and even laugh sometimes.
Absolutely, and it's going to, especially, I think people are going to be very intrigued to read about things. God's in love with a stripper. It takes a very
okay. Since you brought that up, why God's in love with a stripper? Tell us about this topic in your book.
Well, when you look at it, first off, of course, people's mind. You know where people's mind goes. They go to the naked lady, right?
Right.
And they don't even think about the naked man. It's always when something's talking about anything of that nature, people always blame it on a woman. And so, God's in love with the stripper is basically, it's talking about how people in many places, growing up, and becoming a young man, I had the opportunity to go to places like strip clubs or see women out, and be almost naked just, in a regular environment, maybe at a club or just at a restaurant or wherever they are, and sometimes people are in their lives, they think that they may be a bad person or they may be so far off. But, in this particular chapter where I'm talking about God's in love with a stripper, it's actually talking about, even though you are where you are, it's not actually just picking on, it's not like bashing or beating up on the woman. I use the story in scripture where David is dancing in the street because the glory of God has come back and to his house, and he's dancing and celebrating, and his wife was upset with him for dancing because he was the king. And so, in other words, God talked about how much he loved David, and David was looked at in this particular scripture as stripping down to his clothes. He wasn't taking them off. They were falling off because he was so happily dancing. And so I use that to parallel the fact that God's in love. It doesn't matter, like a woman, where you are, if you're a stripper, if you're a prostitute, wherever you are, whoever you've been taking your clothes off for. Don't think that, that God doesn't love you, because he is in love with the stripper. But the kind of stripper that he's in love with, he loves you. He doesn't want you to take your clothes off for a living, but he loves you. The kind of stripper that he's in love with is the one that will take themselves off, in other words, their own way of doing things, especially when it's not right and it's not working for them, that will take that mindset off and then give their mind to him. So you're stripping down your own self and saying, right, God, here I am, as naked as I can be, I'm yours.
Well, let's switch gears to another topic. Highlight this. We'll highlight a few topics. Here's one: why good sex won't keep him. Why good sex won't keep him.
Absolutely, and I don't know which. It's on one of those. It has a very bold statement on it. I don't know if that's the one that you're looking at, but it's a definite myth